Hey, speaking of nuts, my nephew Maddox has a new pet squirrel. Sure does. Sugar squirrel, no fan on, just a regular old squirrel. Maddox used to feed squirrels all the time. He did. And then, he hasn't had any squirrels in a long time. And then, I guess this morning, Maddox told me he just opened up his front door and there's a little fat little squirrel just sitting there staring at him. Maddox thought, all right, what's a squirrel want? And he just looked at the squirrel. He goes, hey, squirrel, you want some nuts? And the squirrel gave him a look like he wanted some nuts. Maddox knows what that looks like. So he went inside and he got him a little bag of walnuts and almonds. Squirrels are usually a little bit shy. So he just reached into that bag and he pulled out 3 nuts, 3 almonds. And he threw, all right. So anyway, Maddox was standing there at his doorstep holding a bag of nuts, looking at the squirrel, and the squirrel looked back at him and like, yeah, I want those nuts. And so Maddox reached in and he grabbed 3 almonds, and he decided this time to just throw them at the squirrel because he put them on his stoop last time, and the squirrel was too dumb to recognize those nuts. Maybe he just didn't see them. So Maddox threw the nuts at the squirrel, and the squirrel lost them. He just lost the nuts. The squirrel looked around everywhere and couldn't find the nuts. Maddox was staring he was like pointing at the nuts. Finally, after the 3rd nut, the squirrel finally found one. So anyway, he threw these nuts at the squirrel. Finally, the squirrel finally got one. And then the squirrel, looked like he was pleased. But then he came back to the door. Maddox went inside and then he looked outside and the squirrel was sitting there on his stoop. So Maddox opened up his door again. He says, what do you want, squirrel? And the squirrel looked at him and looked like he gave him that look again, like he wanted more nut. So Maddox went inside. This time he got some walnuts. And he thought, he's going to put this on the stoop to try to train the squirrel into being less shy. Because usually it takes about a week or so before a squirrel gains your trust. You got to keep feeding it consistently for a week, and then the squirrel will start to trust you. This squirrel immediately ran up to the door. Maddox had to shut the door so the squirrel wouldn't come in. I'm telling you, this squirrel was bold. He came up and he was just about ready to grab the nut out of Maddox's hand. I tell you what, this squirrel was not shy. Not shy at all. But anyway, Maddox has a new pet squirrel. You know what? We should name my pet, Maddox's pet squirrel. We should name it.